Good morning and welcome to this very special Sunday presentation of Conversations and Coffee. We are so glad to have you with us, especially on this very special day. I look forward to May Day every single year. It does bring up a lot of joy for me from my childhood. May Day was something that we still celebrated very prevalently where I lived in the Midwest. My mother was my Girl Scout leader growing up, and I was later a Girl Scout leader myself. And May Day baskets were a big part of our traditions that we used to keep. We would always make May Day baskets for the local nursing homes as well as our elderly neighbors, and we would bring them to their doorsteps. And it was just a joyful time of giving for the sake of giving and bringing joy to somebody that you might not ever know how that touched their lives. Because oftentimes we would ring the doorbell and leave the May basket, and we would never know how they received that gift. Well, we know that the climate right now is a lot different when it comes to safety, which is very sad. You know, it's something that I think about, and it does bring me a little bit of grief that potentially our children may not have the same type of world that we grew up in. And I'm not saying that it's gotten worse or that the old times were better, but being a kid in the past, I had a lot more freedom. I was oftentimes gone from the very beginning of the day to the end of the day on a Saturday, out exploring the nature, building forts with my friends. I was very much a nature explorer, and I don't think our students and our children have that same kind of experience. So I would love to hear in your comments what you feel about that. So today we will be talking about historical information about May Day, about Beltane, and some of its original beginnings, what it was a celebration for, how it was all throughout the Germanic and Celtic worlds, and had some early origins and similar origins in Greece. We'll be talking about the maypole and its real meanings. There's a lot of misconceptions around its meanings, but especially with the Native American perspectives and what the purpose was with that celebration of the sun. It reminds me very much of the Sundance Pole. And so we'll talk about that in just a moment, so stick around. And this brings us to The Hive, our space for women in business, and you can check this out at NaradaHaus.org, The Hive. And we really encourage you to go there because every Wednesday we have new articles about women in business in the area, especially here in the Ocean View, Norfolk, Virginia area. And we will be highlighting women from all over Norfolk, and we would like you to be one of those women that we highlight. If you would like to do that, please contact us at NaradaHaus.org. You can go to our contact information, or you can contact me directly at admin@NaradaHaus.org. Coming up this week in The Hive, we will be focusing in on teachers. We will have some tremendous new curriculum pieces for the teachers in your life that they can utilize in their classroom, as well as a very special discount. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our presentation for this May Day and Beltane. And we're going to talk a lot about the different aspects of that, where that came from the historical perspective, and I hope that you will enjoy this. Let's get into it. We hope that you have enjoyed this wonderful little tour through May Day and Beltane and its original origins. One of my favorite stories too is the story of the Green Man and the May Queen, and in that story, this is where they have their marriage and celebration, and they assure the fertility for the upcoming year. And these are all parts of our roots or our past, because many of us came from Europe, and we have that as part of our lineage, part of where we came from. Much of that was repressed, of course, by the Puritan beginnings of America. But we have to remember, America was started so that there would be freedom to express who we were and where we came from. I love May Day for the simplicity and just the joy around the new spring and the potentiality for all the hope and things that will be coming into our life. I have fond memories too of living in Germany with my husband, and the year that we decorated our own maypole and put it out on the balcony of our apartment, and we had to stay up all night to make sure that it wasn't captured by someone. So it was a joyous time, and my husband growing up in Ostrava has beautiful memories attached to May. And it is a very big deal. I mean, whole cities, they decorate their maypole and they put a lot of time and effort into it. There's dances and there's celebrations. So look around you and see what's going on in your area, and why not start some old traditions anew? So we want to thank you for coming along with us on this journey for May Day. Even if it's something simple for putting a basket of flowers on a neighbor's porch, somebody that you care about, let's think about bringing a little joy and celebration back into the weekend. Also, just a little note, May 1st is also considered one of the first official Labor Days because of changes that have happened in the unions that came about to serve the labor movement. People used to work 20-hour shifts, and this was the celebration of the first 8-hour work shift that was established for workers to have a much more equitable and safe working environment. So there's a lot tied up in this May 1st beginning, and we'll be heading into Mother's Day coming up next week, and we hope that you join us for that as well. Here at NaradaHaus.org and NaradaHaus.org/women's-studies, we want to remind you that we are a nonprofit, and it takes people like you and people like me to be able to make sure that people within our communities have low-cost or no-cost opportunities for education, enrichment, and advocacy. Without the opportunities of nonprofits to function within a community, services cannot go out to areas that might sometimes be overlooked. You help us to keep the lights on and to keep things running so that we may service the people within our communities. We want to thank you for considering our seat starter donations. And if you go to our website, to our donate section, and you do decide to donate, there are some wonderful gifts available for you, including original artwork, journals, and a copy of my book, Under a Strawberry Moon. So please consider. We would love to have you as one of our patrons. Thank you.